Okay, about 93% of people in this room are not thinking for themselves as much as they think. Now, in today's society, I would like to say we're very westernized. We're very fair, somewhat equal. But just because we've evolved as a society doesn't mean we're not prone to being influenced by things that we wouldn't really think we would normally be influenced by. Now, one of the things that I believe really impacts us today as a society is none other than sexism. But you may be thinking, okay, well, sexism was something from like the 1950s. It's, 2026, it's not a big deal anymore. But the truth is, sexism and gender inequality in general, it didn't go away, but instead it evolved. It evolved to be more subtle, to be more quiet, to be less noticeable. Next slide, please. I would like everyone to ask themselves this question right now. What is the biggest threat to gender equality today? Now, I would like to share a moment that I realized the answer to this question. And it wasn't in an environment you would typically think it would be in. I volunteer as an assistant lifeguard for an assistant lifeguard program, which is an absolutely amazing program. And at the end of the year, there's always an Assistant of the Year award given out. Now, when I didn't get the award, I wasn't upset because I didn't get it. I was upset because of who did. The award went to someone, let's call him Sam. Now, Sam had treated all his female teammates as superior to him. He used online remarks, things that I had seen as trending or slang that was demeaning towards women. And it really caught me off guard because these were things that I saw in a digital space. Now, I started to really realize in this moment that the things that were online in a digital world were also in a real world. I would like you all to think back to that question I just asked you. What is the biggest threat to gender equality today? Now, it's not politics, it's not religion. It's actually something that most of us indulge in on a daily basis. And that would be none other than social media. Now, I'm not here to tell you guys, social media is bad for you, it rots your brain out, delete it. We all know these things, and I know I don't listen to them. But the thing is, preaching internet safety is actually not enough to protect our future generations and our current generations from the toxicity of the algorithm and the social stigmas that rapidly evolve online. Now, from a very young age, we're taught what it means to be a boy and what it means to be a girl. I'm not denying that certain social standards evolve from a very young age. And in fact, actually, children ages 6 to 10 were asked, what gender does confidence belong to? And they responded with boys. I thought this was particularly interesting because before even entering middle school, children are taught that certain traits belongs to a gender. But I would like to take a moment to challenge one of our most deeply rooted beliefs that we have as a society, that men and women are different fundamentally, even on a neurological scale. But what if I told you that isn't true? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I would like to present to you guys the gender similarities hypothesis. This research analyzed over 7 million people in thousands of studies already produced. And what they found was that 78% of traits in areas such as leadership, responsibility, all types of traits, they had zero difference when it came to men versus women. There is absolutely no correspondence based off gender. So, if statistically men and women are on the same scale neurologically, then how come our society treats men and women so different socially? Now, obviously, years ago, this could be linked back to something much different. But in today's day and age, you can all agree that we're pretty evolved. So how come issues such as sexism are still prevalent? And I would like to owe that to none other than social media. Social media idolizes certain ideas and certain people. Next slide, please. Basically, this score kind of shows how online, well, it doesn't show that, but online, men and women are promoted as very different. But in reality, they're pretty similar, and that's what that chart shows. It shows that in the traits, men and women are exactly the same. Next slide, please. I would like to introduce none other than Andrew Tate. For those of you who do not know who Andrew Tate is, Google defines him as an American-British social media personality. But what they really mean is that Andrew Tate first began to rise to fame in about 2020 for promoting misogynistic ideas. He promoted ideas that there is no such thing as an independent female and that women are inherently lazy. Now, Andrew Tate currently has over 10 million followers on Twitter, which is now X. Now, this is immensely concerning because young boys especially are being taught that this is who to idolize. But Andrew Tate was actually previously arrested on charges of sexual assault and human trafficking. These are the men that young boys, and I mean our generation as a whole, are being taught to idolize. I would like to show, because some people may be like, well, he can't be that bad. I mean, he's tamed down a little bit because he's banned from all social media. But except for Twitter, he recently tweeted, next slide please, any girl with Instagram, including your wife, who you simp over, is a derogatory term for women. So as you can see, he's still out in the open. But simultaneously, at the same time, young girls are also being impacted, but just in different ways. Young girls are being consistently taught that their physical appearance matters more than anything internally. And although the urge to fit in physically and to be as attractive as possible is a universal experience, no matter the gender, it's seen to especially target women. Now, what I mean by that is that if you go online, I can guarantee under any comment section of a girl, you're gonna find at least one comment about her looks. The algorithm is known to promote ideas such as eating disorders and other ideas in order to be physically attractive. Next slide, please. I would like to show some things that I have seen online scrolling to show you how very real it is. Eat delicious or look delicious, you decide. Food is not a reward, it's a punishment. It's so obvious you don't want it bad enough. If you did, you would have been skinnier by now. And if you notice, it all shows clips of women. And one thing that I think is especially interesting is that what's really common with a lot of these videos is that they show 2000s models, especially like the 2000s Victoria's Secret models. You can agree that that's especially targeting women. And I mean, if you're a guy who wants to be a Victoria's Secret model, I mean, by all means, go ahead. But you can understand what I'm saying. Now, next slide, please. Basically, this graph shows the amount of misogynistic posts and publications over the past couple of years. I think it's specifically interesting how, notice how around 2020, it really begins to rocket. What's interesting about that is that at the same time, that's around when Andrew Tate and the whole toxic masculinity idea began to circulate. So, we can all agree that online, young boys are being taught to idolize toxic masculinity, to demean women. And young girls are also being pushed that they must be attractive in order to find love, that they must fit all these societal standards. Isn't that just continuing to divide us by our gender? Now, next slide, please. From a very young age, we're taught what it means to be a boy and what it means to be a girl. It's not very noticeable, but I mean, you can all agree that it can be. But the issue is, this idea of there being a difference between gender is not just amplified by social media. It's also amplified by things as simple as search algorithms. It was actually found, can we go back? Sorry. It was actually found that algorithms such as Google actually have a gender bias. Now, what I mean by that is that research suggested that when you go online in other countries that have something that's known as a global gender gap index, it's kind of hard to say, but basically it just means men and women are more separated based off their gender. And it's measured in ways such as employment rates, education. In countries with a greater gap between men and women, it was found that when you search up a gender-neutral job, only men appear working under the images. But in places like the US, where there is less of a gap, it showed both men and women working. I just thought that that was very interesting because it shows that not only is gender biased in social media, it's also in places as simple as Google. Now, to really understand the scale of how these ideas were being pushed to us, I found a study that basically they made 8 different YouTube accounts. On those accounts, they set the ages to 13 to 20 for men. And what they found was that when they looked up certain actors that were somewhat associated with ideas of misogyny, the actors themselves may not have even said anything, but they were just associated. It was found that within hours of creating these YouTube accounts, that they were being pushed ideas such as feminist takedowns, ideas just overall really misogynistic. And that kind of just shows, I personally don't think that YouTube was going based off the search of the male actors itself. YouTube was looking at who made the account. They saw that it was a man who was under 18 or a very young age. And it decided that the best way to get these men to engage with their content was to promote toxic masculinity. Now, next slide, please. This is why I like to think of social media as a secret agent. Social media appeals to the things that we don't even know existed. It appeals to things such as our deepest desires to be accepted. And I mean, even though you may not think of it at first thinking, we can all agree that, to a degree, we all have a desire to be accepted. We all have a desire for connection. And people find that in many different ways. Next slide, please. I really like this diagram. It's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I feel like it really simply shows the true human elements. One thing I would like to point out is the esteem needs, belongingness, and love. Now, if all humans desire to feel love, to feel acceptance, what does it mean when we're showing our youngest generations that in order to feel this love, to feel this acceptance, they must either be as physically attractive as possible, they must be the skinniest. The young boys, they must view women as objects. They must get the most women. So I would like to take a moment for everyone to think to themselves. Has there ever been a time that you said, it's okay, they're just a man. It's okay, they're just a woman? I mean, I know I have. But that kind of just shows how we really are accustomed to treat people differently based off their gender. And that's only going to continue to increase this separation, this divide. I want everyone in this room to know you're not just a man, you are not just a woman. You are human. We are human. To let the simplicity of your chromosomes, well, not simple according to my biology teacher, but something as simple as your chromosomes, to decide something as splitting like half of our nation in half is honestly an immature and outdated notion. Every person in this room, every person on our globe is more than a random genetic lottery chosen at conception. To let the simplicity of a gender war determine so many fates, so many futures, our perceptions, is incredibly concerning for our future generations. Now, no matter if you're a man or if you're a woman, to let something as simple as perception decide whether or not you deserve certain things is just insane to me. Yeah. So whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, you deserve more than what social media may tell you. Thank you.